Next News. Breaking news.
New York City faces an escalating crisis as the communist Mayor Zohran Mamdani rolls out plans to seize private buildings from owners labeled bad landlords. Protests are exploding outside Gracie Mansion, with New Yorkers fed up and demanding change, and President Trump, he's entered the fight, calling out the damage done to taxpayers. But one moment with Elon Musk reveals the real power dynamic at play, and what happens when ambition meets reality in America's largest city. See, this fight hits every American because New York serves as a testing ground for progressive policies on housing, taxes, and property rights. When mayors push government takeovers and massive new spending, working families bear the cost through higher taxes and fleeing businesses. Taxpayers who fund services are leaving permanently, while the costs just keep rising. If this model spreads, it weakens the entire nation by driving capital away and empowering government control over private assets. The outcome decides whether cities thrive under freedom or collapse under socialist experiments. And while the battle for American cities intensified, we have some breaking developments in our critical mineral supply chain that add national security stakes. This is breaking news on the America critical mineral supply chain. The SAGA metal story just got stronger. Less than 48 hours ago, SAGA released new information suggesting that its radar project may be sitting on one of the largest titanium vanadium systems on the entire planet. Now, look at your screen there. SAGA trades as SAGMF in the US and SAGA in Canada. And to understand the scale, you need to compare radar to China's Panxinhua deposit. That's a state-linked system that's valued in the multi-billion-dollar range. It's also responsible for over 40% of global vanadium production. Now, this reduces reliance on foreign powers and strengthens U.S. industry. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to check out the in-depth interview with the CEO that I did on this topic just last weekend, and also check out the exclusive briefing that is linked below, but it's only for Next News viewers. Now back to the New York showdown, where real leadership is exposing failed policies. And fresh from that minerals update, the spotlight returns to Mayor Mamdani's $100 billion housing push and property seizures that triggered massive street protests, crowds chanting for his removal while Trump hammers the taxpayer exodus. The mayor's own words revealed the deeper clash with federal priorities. But first, remember when Elon Musk was remarking and reflecting upon his time with President Trump, and of course, the moment that that communist decided to show up in the Oval Office.
Who's the funniest person you know in real life?
You know, President Trump is very funny. He's got a great sense of humor.
President Trump is very funny.
He's very funny. He's like naturally funny, but it's somewhat effortless. I mean, you know, when he was had Mamdani in the office, and they asked him if he still thought the president was a fascist, and the president said, "Just say yes. It's easier that way." Don't worry about it. Just say yes. That was awesome. He's like, yes. How silly.
That was a great moment. I'll never forget when President Trump just said, yeah, go ahead. You can tell him. So Trump's quick wit with Mamdani cutting through the noise, but the same Democrat tax and spend games are on full display over in Illinois. Yes, Darren Bailey, who is running against J.B. Pritzker, who never walked away from a buffet he didn't like, had this to say: no more welfare for billionaires until working families get relief. Here is Darren Bailey's latest.
J.B. Pritzker says there's no money to cut your taxes, no money for property tax relief, no money for working families. But somehow there's always money when a billion-dollar corporation comes knocking. $536 million for Goshen, a Chinese battery company with Communist Party ties. They secretly negotiated without a single Manteno resident having a say. Nearly $1 billion in tax breaks for data centers. One facility got $38 million, and it only created 20 permanent jobs. 20 jobs. TIF districts draining $1.3 billion a year away from local schools and neighborhoods. That's a 1,000% increase in 30 years. And who's paying for all this? You are. And now Pritzker wants to keep the Bears in Illinois by freezing the team's property taxes for 40 years. That's sticking Arlington Heights homeowners and surrounding communities with at least $300 million a year in shifted burden.
Wow.
His own family's Hyatt empire gets the same special treatment. Taxpayers have poured over $180 million into renovations and upgrades at the Hyatt Regency McCormick Place. All of this while Chicago homeowners got hit with hundreds more on their property tax bills. Your property tax goes up. Your grocery bills go up. Your gas goes up. Meanwhile, billionaire corporations and the governor's own family hotels get special deals that nobody else gets. That's not capitalism. That's cronyism. And half the time, Pritzker himself has skin in the game, being personally invested in the very companies that he's handing your money to. Now, I'm not against business. I'm against a rigged system where working families get taxed to death while giant corporations cash taxpayer-funded bonus checks. When I'm governor, every corporate handout gets posted online for the public to see. If a company takes taxpayer money and doesn't deliver, we're going to claw it back. And here's a simple rule. If Springfield is giving tax relief to billion-dollar corporations, well, middle-class families better be getting relief too. You know what actually attracts jobs? Lower property taxes, affordable energy, less red tape, a state that people can afford to live in again. If Illinois has to bribe companies to come here, well, then maybe the problem isn't the incentives. Maybe the problem is Springfield. Let's put Illinois families first. Thank you and God bless.
Looking good, Darren. Looking good. Strong message. You have my support, sir. And the sad part is the poison in New York is just spreading to Chicago. That template of corruption and corrupt policies continue to infect other cities like Chicago. But Pritzker's handing billions to corporations while working families get squeezed. Now, Mamdani is trying to rope in federal cash for his own housing scheme. Trump said Mayor Mamdani is destroying New York City. Where does the housing plan, where does this housing plan that will rely on federal money? Let's check in with his interview with Caitlin Collins on CNN.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since you and the president talked about that plan, he posted later, despite it being a very, warm and glowy meeting from what the press saw, he said, quote, Mayor Mamdani is destroying New York City. It has no chance, and the United States of America should not contribute to its failure. I mean, some people might see that and say, but where does that leave plans, especially things like this housing plan that will rely on federal money? And are you worried about that being at risk here?
I think the president and I have said many things about the other. I don't think they preclude the ability for the city to actually work together with the federal administration on something of this scale. And we're going to keep pushing it forward because we believe that for far too long, ambition has been something that has been left in the history books of our city. I mean, when we look at the fact that the Empire State Building was built in 13 months and now, we spend about 7 months after constructing a building just to move a tenant in. It's frankly unacceptable. And we want to show what's possible in this country. In order to do so, we have to be willing to lead with a vision of ambition that actually matches the scale of the crisis. We're going to keep doing that here, and we will always leave an invitation open to the federal administration to join us in any of this work, because we know that these are not just New Yorkers, they're Americans, and they too need to see a government that actually cares about their well-being.
Lots of flowery language from the communist there. He says we can still partner with Washington on housing despite past attacks, but Trump calling out the exact policies driving taxpayers out of New York. Here's what he had to say just the other day when he visited New York City.
Great, Mike. It's terrible things are happening. However, we have to take the good with the bad. Companies are leaving. Rich people are leaving. People that pay a lot of money. All these rich companies, big, fat, beautiful companies, They have jobs and they have money, and they're leaving, and nobody's stopping them from leaving. New York can never, if we don't stop this, and I'm for you, and I'm helping you in Washington much more than I'm supposed to be helping you, believe me, New York can never be the same if it's losing its tax base, and the people that pay 85% of the taxes are leaving. And we're taking in illegal immigrants. Oh, they're wonderful people and all, but they're not paying any tax. They're taking your money. Ay, ay, ay. They're taking your money. The people that pay 85 to 90% of your taxes are leaving. And you know, when they go, they never come back. They never come back. Nobody calls them. Nobody does anything. Nobody talks to them. Nobody says, please don't leave. We'll give you a tax rebate. We'll do anything. Don't leave. But they're leaving. They're going to Florida. They're going to Tennessee. They're going to Texas. They're going to South Carolina, North Carolina. They're going all over the place, but they're leaving, and we can't let it happen. It's a great place. We can't. Bruce will stop it. Mike will stop it. They're all going to stop it. They'll bring them back. On top of that, the streets are dirty. The crime is out of control.
Crime's out of control. Streets are dirty. President Trump laying out how the tax base is fleeing the city. Hundreds of New Yorkers are now swarming Gracie Mansion, demanding Mamdani be removed. Check this out.
One of you, stop being afraid to be labeled when we had the biggest fight of our lives here. I want all true New Yorkers to follow these two sweet words that we have from Mayor Mamdani. Only true New Yorkers, all sensitive folks, just keep your mouth shut. 1, 2, 3. Fuck you! Fuck you! 1, 2, 3. Fuck you! 1, 2, 3, louder. Fuck you!
Scott Lobito has 2 words for Mamdani. Yes, so New Yorkers making their fury crystal clear outside Gracie Mansion that he's telling CNN he needs $100 billion in new taxes and spending. Yeah, that's what's coming out of that communist mouth. He went on CNN and laid out his big plan to solve New York's cost of living crisis. The solution: build 200,000 new affordable units, just like communist Russia. Preserve another 200,000 and dump billions more into public housing. The price tag, up to $100 billion over the next decade. This is the same city where it already costs over $106,000 a year for a couple with no kids just to exist. Somehow his answer is still more government housing, more taxes on people who actually pay for things, and more debt. The people who made New York the most expensive city in America are now promising to fix it by doing the exact thing, but just bigger. New York is effed. Who said that? Gunter Eagleman. Check this out.
For being here as you're rolling out this new plan, just for everyone to understand the reality of what New Yorkers are facing. There was a study that your Office of Equity and Racial Justice did that found that the median cost for a couple with no kids is over $106,000 to live in New York. That's without kids, just to emphasize that. When everything from gas to food, construction prices are up, what do you expect a number like that to be by the end of this year?
You know, I think we're going to keep seeing numbers like that increase across the country, given the economic conditions that Americans are living with. As you said, the war in Iran also is not just a moral affront or a political affront, it's also an economic affront to Americans' ability to make ends meet. And that even trickles down to New Yorkers' ability to live in this city. However, the announcement we made today of a plan called Block by Block is looking to do everything we can to actually lower costs in this city, because we know that at the heart of a cost of living crisis, the number one driver of that crisis is the housing crisis. crisis. And this is an announcement that does three key things. It builds 200,000 new affordable homes, preserves 200,000 affordable homes alongside it. And then additionally, it invests in tenants across the city, makes it easier to provide code enforcement for housing violations, and does all of this while investing more than $5 billion in public housing, which has long been neglected, not just in our city, but frankly across our country.
Oh, government housing. Listen how he painted that picture. Oh my goodness. I mean, what did Ronald Reagan say? Communism, be careful, it'll come wearing an American flag. And look at it right behind him. He's spewing communist rhetoric with that American flag right behind him in the Big Apple. So his $100 billion plan's already raising eyebrows. His next step calls for seizing buildings from landlords to transfer them to nonprofits. Reverend Jordan Wells writes, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani just announced his plan. The government will take your buildings from bad landlords, hand them to nonprofit, community land trusts, and tenants, block by block.
When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers.
We're going to turn New York into a communist shithole block by block. Communist block by communist block. They need to take the K off of that. It's block by block. That's what they're really trying to tell you here.
When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers. And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards. Stewards that include community land trusts, nonprofits, or even the tenants themselves.
Communism sounds so sweet, doesn't it? Remember, it's your money. So Trump's message lands with force as he warns the people paying the most taxes are leaving New York for good. They're never returning. And this exposes how Mamdani's agenda accelerates the flight while pandering to the non-contributors. The result? It threatens fiscal collapse and hands control to government allies instead of owners. America First policies under President Trump stand as the clear alternative, restoring order and growth. You see, New York proves once again that bold conservative leadership exposes communist failures and protects the taxpayers who built this country. So share this report to spread the truth about what's really happening in our cities, whether it's New York or Chicago or Los Angeles. And drop a yes or no in the comments right now if you believe that private property rights must come first. And text the raw feed, those words, raw feed, to that secret number we've got right there on the screen, 844-840-4963. That's how you're going to bypass the algorithm and you're going to get direct updates from me to your phone. And make sure you check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Celebrate America 250 with us, because together we defend America, and we're going to keep on winning for freedom.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.